Music has been his life from an early age onward. And you can tell that by the way he talks about music. His eyes light up, he's animated, he just can't get enough of talking about music with people and educating people about his passion.
Leonard is unique in many ways because he has an uncanny ability to look at a new piece, a piece that no one has ever performed before, and hear it in his head, hear how it should sound in his head, and then translate that into making the orchestra sound. You know, he can play all the notes on the page and deal with some of the dynamics and so forth, but to make it really sound the way composer had in mind. And he was masterful at that.
Obviously, lots of talent, very well organized. That. Forgive my biases, but that's to some degree unusual for a music director. And there's a difference between a music director and a conductor. A conductor can come in, do their strongest repertoire, and then leave. A music director has to have a vision over a long period of time on what you want the orchestra to sound like, what are the strengths and weaknesses repertoire-wise, and he had all of that.
Leonard is and though everybody knows this, a champion of contemporary music. He is obviously one of the world's greatest American conductors, and he followed Leonard Bernstein in that. He's talented on the podium and off, and I mean, he'll just be remembered for so many things with regard to the music making that he's done in his life.
He was like a kind of quarterback, and we were the front offensive line, and our job was to make sure that whether it was preventing a tackle or, or creating a path, he would score, and he did a really good. I kind of think of him as the Tom Brady of music directors myself.
Time magazine did an article, I think around 82, 83, listing the top orchestras in America, and everybody expected Chicago to be number one, but then after that, Cleveland, yada yada yada. St. Louis was ranked as one of the top two orchestras in America.
We didn't have this word in the 80s, but it became our brand in a way, that we were in fact one of the great American orchestras performing American music. His legacy will be his contribution. In the Grove's History of Music, there's going to be a big chapter on what Leonard Slatkin infused in the symphonic repertoire in the way of American music.
Especially when it comes to writing music, he's reminded me to think about what is the obvious choice, and then what's the next obvious choice. Try to take the next best approach, because that's where you make these discoveries about how you make your mark and you make yourself different musically and creatively. Is take the road traveled, but not the most traveled. And that's where you might make some really interesting discoveries.
Well, his passion, of course, is music. And then I think the next would come food. And then having a laugh over whatever. I think of him, I mean, he gets away with being silly without looking like he's being silly.
Daniel is probably at the top of the list, and beyond the music. And I know that the St. Louis Cardinals were high up years ago. I'm thinking he hasn't changed his allegiance, but I know that baseball's big in he loves baseball. And my brother played baseball with the Cubs, so we had a lot in common with regard to baseball. He also used to be a Ted Drewes lover and Fitz Root Beer, and I suspect he still has a fondness for both of those things.
He's almost like my brother, and he will understand what that means, and that I love him very much, and he'll always have my back. That's what I guess I could say.
Well, I love you, Leonard. That's the message. And behave yourself, and you're getting all these honors, and does that mean that I have to salute when I see you the next time? That would be my message.
I'm grateful to know him and to have had the opportunity to work for the best. The best, and not many people have that opportunity, but I have had that opportunity, and I have grabbed hold of it and appreciated it and enjoyed it to the fullest, and I owe a lot of that to Leonard.
The one value that really sticks in my mind right now is to never let anything get in the way of pursuing your passion. And that's certainly the example that he's led in his career, that he's had a passion for music, for classical music, for making great music with others, and he never let anything stop him from achieving that.
Leonard, our relationship goes back many years. We enjoyed our exciting journey with the St. Louis Symphony under your leadership.
We are grateful for the very many meals that we have shared together, your continued spirit and generosity.
How wonderful that we benefit from your inspiration and guidance as a Chamber Music Society of St. Louis board member.
We are among the many who are delighted that you have chosen once again to live here in St. Louis.
Thank you for all your contributions that enrich the cultural life in our city.
Leonard, this is truly a kind of homecoming for you and a very warm welcome to Cindy. You've spent a significant part of your life, musical life, here in St. Louis, and many years ago you built our great St. Louis Symphony into a world-class orchestra. We're proud and thrilled to have you back. Welcome home.
Leonard, I want to echo Noemi's words, but add to it, you're coming back at a really great time. The Cardinals need your help. The city itself can use some of the help that you'll bring through your enthusiasm for our wonderful city. Really wonderful to have you back home.